Hey guys, welcome back. Today I went walking around with my fiance today and a little bit yesterday, and it is fall here in Alabama, and not very cool fall because it was like 80 something degrees yesterday, but we do have some cooler nights, and so stuff is already starting to change in fall, and so I started noticing stuff on the ground that I thought was really pretty, and I thought I would share some of the nature that we have here, because it's going to differ from a lot of you from different areas up north in America and different countries, and I just thought it'd be a neat thing to share. So we're going to start looking through stuff that I got. This was just a piece of stone that was out there, and I think it got on one of my leaves, but that's just a piece of gravel that was out there. But the first things I noticed were on the ground these acorns. So, wait, where's my round one? I had a round one somewhere. Here it is. So a lot of acorns from oak trees look like this. And they're in their little shell. It's like a little hat. Isn't it cute? And it's a little acorn. But then we have other oak trees that have acorns that look like this. And they're in different stages of colors. Look at this little baby one. Look at it. It's so cute. So a lot of them, when they are big enough and they're ready to pop out, they're about this big. But then you have this little tiny, he's a baby. He's so cute. But look at him. It's just the intricacy of nature. Look at this spiral pattern. Not spiral, these like diagonal patterns. With all these little pieces. This really rich, dark. If that doesn't look like some beautiful oak cabinets, I don't know what does. Then you have some ones that are this army green with this tan color. Then you have the other ones that are green and yellow. Some that are with darker green, different shapes. Just some of these little have already popped out. And the inside, the little holder, has got the leftover little green pieces. Some of them don't. Some of them look like this. This one, I'm not sure what the dots are, if that's some kind of, I'm not sure what the dots are. If that's maybe an infection or something it has, I really don't know. And these two, put these down. These two have a totally different color brown than the really dark ones. It's like all these different shades. I just thought they were pretty and glossy. I just thought they were beautiful. And then here's a piece that probably snapped off of a tree. Still has the oak leaves on it. And it has these two in there. This one's greenish and brown, and this one's starting to be the little darker, but it's not glossy. With the leaves, you can tell the leaf has some kind of fungus problem on it. Something's eating it. And this one was starting to pop open, ready to release its seed to start a new tree. Look at it. I think they're just lovely. I think there's so much beauty in nature. I think that is just beautiful. I really do. I love these. Okay. And then we have a pecan that we did not crack it open, but there's a piece that's already cracked open a little bit. But there's a bunch of pecan trees. There's some black walnut trees out there. and get it open. It sounds kind of hollow. When they're really good, they don't sound that hollow. So I'm wondering it might already be dried up. It may have been on the ground for a while. Let's see. As you can see, if I can get it out of here, this pecan has been on the ground for a while. It is drying up completely. Very much so. That's how you usually know, because they start when they sound solid. These are not so dried because they still have enough moisture in them and stuff that they're filling most of the shell, and it doesn't sound very hollow. But this one, you could tell the sound of it that it was not still young and tasty. Okay, and here and there we still have some of those in there. And then there was a piece of bark from one of the trees. It's just one of the pine trees that was out there. And next to it was this pine cone. Very, very spiny. All these little spines on it. And I think that is a nature thing, because usually before they're that wide open, they are closer together, and there are these seeds and stuff down in there. And so when they're tightly closed, it keeps birds from coming up and biting them open and taking their seeds. It's the tree's natural defense to make sure that it makes other trees. They are very, very sharp. I don't know if you can see these little spines. They are very sharp. That's a pretty, very uniform little pine cone. It's got something, I don't know if that is an egg casing or just some little bird poo or what. Got my finger all over it. The stems of the tree, they look like scales of like dragons. You see the little spikes, like how they do like dragon scales. But this is typical of what one of our pine cones would look like in Alabama. I love the ones in, I would love to go to Canada one day, and sometimes you'll see pictures of them, or I think I've probably seen some in a store somewhere in person. But the pine cones are like, I mean, they are enormous. They are beautiful. Just beautiful trees and stuff. And I think there's probably some northern, like Oregon and stuff like that before you make it to Canada. But Canada is just has this big, beautiful ones too. That's our pine cone here. And our bark from the same tree. Here's another one of those little acorns. And here's another acorn casing. A little holder. And here's another little double one. Nature is amazing. This universe has done a great job. Okay, and then we're just getting into some neat little leaves. I do not know my trees and my leaves and stuff like that. I don't know them at all. I mean, I know which ones are, some of them, I know which ones are oak. And, but most of them I don't. So don't expect me to tell you what kind they are because I don't know. Okay, this is clearly one of those little oak leaves that just has already turned brown. It's very glossy. Look how glossy this thing is. There's a little touch of green left on it. It's very glossy and it's got all these little veins in it from the stem. Look at that. And it's already dried up, so it's not making much sound. Some of them you're going to hear, they're going to sound very, very crunchy. And there's another one. The shape is a little, oops. The shape is not quite the same. Where something has kind of maybe a leaf cutter or something like that's kind of been eaten on it. We got little spots probably from some kind of fungus or something that has attacked the leaves of the tree. Same veins. Then we have this one. I think this is another beautiful glossy brown. Look at that. Maybe this is a Bradford pear leaf. I'm not positive. But look how curly the little edges are. They got like little cuts. They're just beautiful. It is just beautiful. On the back side, you got your long, very strong stem. And all your little veins sending nutrients out to the leaf. Isn't that lovely? Probably some of y'all are going to be like, this is such a boring video. But like, I don't know. I just think this stuff is so unique. I know you can't see this. All the little tiny patterns reminds me, in between the two veins, there's little patterns that look like your fingerprints. Connected to everything in nature. This is a magnolia leaf. We saw one magnolia out there. When I was a little girl, there was a humongous, I want to set that one aside, that one's so beautiful. There was a humongous magnolia tree we had in our yard, and the limbs would come way down and dip, just a little bit off the ground, where you could step up in it, and there was a limb above you could hold on to, and you would just walk up into the tree. And I lived in the trees as a little girl. But this is a magnolia leaf. They have beautiful casings. Like they had this really, really big flower that's beautiful that turns white. And then they have casings, but they're not spiny. They're really very silky and soft, almost fuzzy. And they have all these little red seed pods in it. When they pop open, little red seed pods go everywhere. But these are usually, this is kind of a medium-sized one, but usually they're a lot bigger, and they're glossy, glossy green when they are still on the tree. Very glossy green. It's got a lovely sound to it. This one's got some kind of fungus or something on it. All the funguses these days, it's hard not to find something like that. Let's see if I saw any stuff on here. There's some little white stuff, maybe little spores that I'm now sprinkling around my house. Who knows? Okay. I don't know. This might be maybe a maple. I don't know. But it's got your yellow background, and then this part is still really pliable where it had been moist and wet. You can still see some green right here. This edges has dried. Listen. The edges have dried and turned completely brown, on this side at least. and all the dots in the middle are turning this color. Let me turn over, you can really see this main vein, all the little tiny veins going out feeding the leaf nutrients. Oh, I didn't notice I got another one. These came right out of the dirt, so they are dirty. This is another magnolia tree leaf in different forms that it's changing. Now, he has some sandy area near his house, so a lot of this is sand. And it's funny that that stuff will grow so near the coast, but it does. This one, this was a plant growing out of the ground, and it had these big old bunches. I don't know what it is, but it has these big old bunches of like 4 or 5, 6 leaves of these, and it had these little tiny white flowers. But it is still in the midst of changing from green to yellow with our little bit cooler nights. And this pattern, where a lot of these have one main thick vein down the center, and then smaller ones, this one has a main vein down the center, and then one on the left and the right. Then you have the little tiny veins, the little feeder veins. Whereas this one just has one main vein. Most of these only have one main vein. Look, this one's got 1, 2, 3 big ones. To me, these are just like the veins in our body, taking blood out to different areas that our body needs. All connected. I've got several of these, or a couple of these at least. Don't ask me what kind, I don't know. But these have a completely different shape. Oops. Just coming out, and you have this like spiny little, it's not sharp at all, but it comes up and it's kind of got these little spiny looking tips on here, like, ooh, I'm going to get you. But they're very, very soft. Just completely different shapes than the previous leaves we've seen. And then this one, both of these have, if I can get them both turned over, both of these have a main vein, but their arm, like their little arm veins coming out, are a little bit bigger than some of the previous ones like these. They're a little bit thicker before you get to the little tiny ones. You can hear them. They are drying out. We have another pretty one, like a chestnut color. And you can see it has a little red on there. It was changing. I don't know if it was brown first and it's changing to red, or if it was red. It was probably red first and now it's changed to brown. That's the last little bit of reds left. It's got a tiny little split right here. You can see the little red on the other side. Got your main vein and all the little side arms. Little feeder veins. We have one tiny little red one. I had a couple little red ones, but they've all just dried and curled up. This looks like a Japanese maple. It's just a very, very red leaf, very tips, trying to turn brown. And it's got little, not spikes, but like just little bit curvier edges where it comes up to a point. Very little bit. Very, very tiny leaf on this one. There are bigger ones, but this one's pretty tiny. Pretty delicate too. And then we have a bunch of these. I think these are so pretty. This one's pretty curled up already. This is an oak leaf. And these trees out there at his place are just huge, humongous trees. Some ones like 100-year-old trees and stuff. They're just beautiful. Big old oak leaves. Look at the patterns in it. Very sturdy center. And this one does too. You have your main vein. You have another vein over here. Then you get a little skinnier and a little skinnier. Then you have little tiny ones on each side. Just like the veins in our body. It's unique how like we are in nature. Look at this brown one. Difference in color. This one has a lot of green and brown. And then you have this one. And it has still the yellow, the green, the brown in it. It's got a little curling of a leaf right here. Still has those pretty like little, almost like wave patterns. Look at the little waves. Troughs and crests of a wave. Just pretty vein patterns. It's just beautiful. This one's kind of got like little arc shapes. And this one is very similar, just a little different color, closer to the color of this one. It just is slightly different, whereas this one has two sides that are pretty uniform, two big arms. This one has one bigger arm and then a smaller arm on it. And still come up to its little point. So that same beautiful vein pattern. It's beautiful. Okay, our last leaf is the largest one I found out there. Get us a little space. Look how large that is. That leaf is humongous. Like it would take 3 of my hands to fill this thing up. Very large, very beautiful. You still have a lot of green. A lot of green. A piece up here has been ripped off, which has your really deep wave patterns. And these are more uniform. It's like a piece has been torn off here and here. These come down, you got your little curly right here. Very strong stem. Still. Look at these stems. Look at these veins in this thing. And this one, as it's drying up, the veins, it's turning these brown around the veins too. With this pattern. Looks like when main rivers run, and then you have all the little tributaries too. Looks like veins in our bodies and veins, river veins. Something white on it. Thought that was so big and pretty. I would love to be able to go to different states and get some of their really unique just pieces of nature and be able to show them and stuff, or stuff from different countries. That'd be awesome. I would love the big Canadian pine cones. Oh man, just beautiful. Decorate with and stuff, they just be gorgeous. I actually have some pine cones that I had taken before, and I had bleached some of them, and at different various stages, and they're beautiful. Actually, I think I'm going to pause it and go get those because they look gorgeous. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. And I just have these on one of my cake trays that I like to decorate when I do fall stuff. But I have bleached these in various stages. But look at this beautiful, beautiful creamy color. This beautiful pattern on the bottom. You have one that's a little grayer. You have one that had more. I actually tried to take that frosty spray stuff and spray this one. It didn't work exactly right, but where it looks snowy, didn't work right. But and look at the shape of these two. These are a lot heavier than the other pine cones. And I'd had some glitter and stuff on these. But just the shape, they're a whole lot heavier. Just look at how beautiful that shape is. They're just gorgeous. I love nature. Aren't they beautiful? And then we have one that's still very brown. That like almost a cinnamon color. You have this little red inside. It's just lovely. And then you have one that's more of the grayish. And the one I did a really white. Look at them. The bottom looks like zinnias. The zinnia flower, look at it. Isn't that a zinnia? I think it is. It's beautiful. There's just another one like that. I love these though. I think they're just beautiful. But yeah, to be able to have a couple of the really big Canadian ones or Northern American ones that are so big in this set would be beautiful. You see, I've got some empty space. But I enjoyed going through this with you guys. This is all I have that is from our folly nature area right now. But we'll have some more as things begin to change more and we get some cooler weather. We're supposed to drop from the 80s hopefully this coming week. And hopefully we will have some more stages of different things that I can show you guys later. So thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.